Welcome to our inaugural car spotting episode here in California. We're gonna drive around the San Fernando Valley and see what we can find. LA is Cartopia. You will find all sorts of old, rust-free, gorgeous machines here. At least so I've been told. Let's see what we find. We are gonna cap this at 1 hour. So I just want viewers to know, these are the cars we're seeing in LA within a 60-minute time span, okay? So if it's not a lot of cars, that's the excuse, and if it is a lot of cars, that's what I'll brag about. Now, to be clear, if we took the highway in 60 minutes, we would see a lot of boring commuter cars, but we'd probably only make it about a quarter mile down the street. All right, here we go, 60 minutes. Look at this. I don't even entirely know what this is. Look at this green, oh, we might have to pause for a second. Is that like a Toyota Corona or something? You see what I'm seeing here? It's an old Toyota of sorts, and it is still rocking. I think it's a Toyota. I don't know. Someone's gonna correct me here. That Volkswagen is not someone's like collector car. That's just a car that they drive. That's the crazy thing about LA. You'll see a car, you'll be like, oh man, what an incredible collector's piece. It's just sitting there gathering dust outside on the curb. Like, that is what makes LA car culture what it is. All right, the tricky thing is gonna be that we've already lost about 10 minutes just sitting in traffic. Look at that, first gen Ford Explorer. Unironically sitting, that's someone's car, they drive that every day. This car in Michigan, by the way, that's someone's collector's car. That doesn't even get a second look in California. No one cares about that car. Ooh, look at this old, is that a Camaro IROC Z? Is that a Firebird? Man, I get those mixed up. That's pretty pathetic. I am now at the point where I'm passing cars because I'm just like, it's not a big deal. Hey, there's a 1995 Ram. It's like, well, around here, that's just a car. Look at that old Mustang. See, that's cool. And I like that people can drive that here every day. It's not gonna rust out. But the cars I wanna highlight here in car spotting are the cars that are just doing their job. They're actually just someone's commuter. Maybe the Mustang was. I'm talking, let's see, we'll find plenty of them. I mean, honestly, that van right there is like 40 years old, and it's just someone's van. This Chevy truck right here, it's just a truck that someone drives here every day. That truck right here is literally still in service, and it's doing fine aside from its window falling down. The body is great, the frame is great. You just keep putting oil in it, keep putting gas in it, and you just keep driving it. See, there are two things about California. The obvious one is that there's no rust, and that's a big deal. But the second thing is parts availability here is amazing. You can get parts for anything here for cheap and quickly. And that's the key to keeping these cars on the road. It's possible we're not gonna find gold during this trip. Only got an hour. Look at that, second gen Ram. That was an iconic truck when it debuted for when was it? 94, something like, somewhere in there. That's called big rig styling. That's what they call that front end. And it really inspired sort of that big sort of honcho look you see on a lot of modern trucks. But the important thing is that is a 30-year-old truck and it's like pristine. It's not being garage kept, it's just someone's truck. I'm in one right now. This is a 1989 Chevy K1500 that I just drive every day. It's a daily driver. Drive it all year round. It's not a big deal. Look at that old Ford Thunderbird in there. 90s Ford Thunderbird. Again, 30-year-old car just being used. This is the place where cars can live forever. In other parts of this country, they sort of age out. Here, no. Every car here in Los Angeles is LeBron James. It's able to defeat old man time, or whatever they call it. What do they call it? Old man time? No.
Father time?
Father time. That's it. They say father time is undefeated, but not against vehicles here in California. In other parts of like New York City, any of these cars, they flame out about when a basketball player does. You hit 30 and it's like downhill. Not here. They're just getting their legs. How are we doing time-wise?
4:29. About 15 minutes in.
All right, quarter way in. We've seen a few vehicles, but nothing that's really made us stop. We've only just begun. We're just getting going. The issue is traffic and the lights and all that. All right, look at this neighborhood. What do we think? I'm thinking we're gonna find something. All right, there's an old Lincoln Town car. Not really worth mentioning other than it's just being used. Older than 40. I want to find like a 50-year-old car. I think from the 70s or older. Over under? Okay, look at that. We got a first gen Ford Explorer over there. Seen better days. Taking a hit. Classic Toyota truck. That's someone's car. They drive that to work every day. That's crazy, but that's California. Oh, hey, cat. Oh, look at this. Oh, we have struck gold. A Buick Riviera on the right. What is that? Someone who knows American old cars better than I do probably knows what that is. What do we have here? We have oh my God, look at that old square body Chevy in the back. That is sweet. And then we've got these, man, what are these? Impalas? Novas. Got a really die-hard Chevy person here. We have a, looks like Rhino-lined Super Duty, which is, it's not that old, but I mean, how much weight do you think Rhino-Lino adds on the outside? Probably a lot. Here's an old GMT 400. I just completely ignored this car because, again, California. GMT 400 Chevrolet, and it looks so freaking clean, it's ridiculous. Look at how clean this thing is. My goodness, it is absolutely stunning. And I just ignored it because I've become a Californian. Same thing over here. The GMT 400 just being used. It's just not a collector car, it's just a car being used. So by now, you should have noticed a little bit of a pattern. There are a lot of American cars here, and the popular cars from the 80s and 90s are still running around. So those Ford Explorers from the early 90s, the GMT 400s from the 80s and 90s, those are still totally kicking. Those things were rock solid. You know, the Explorer had that 4-liter V6. You got the 350 in those Chevy trucks. They don't die. They last forever. Look at that. That's a, it's not that old, but it's like a 2004-ish Pathfinder. Nissan Pathfinder, completely underrated car, but just a beautiful machine in my opinion. Look at that thing. That thing is clean. Cars from the 2000s are not even worth mentioning here, but I'm going to point them all out. They're everywhere. Like a 25-year-old car here, it's not old. Though I'd like to just briefly pull over and talk about this Toyota 4Runner. Well, it's not that clean, so we can just talk about it from here. But as you can see, this is the second generation Toyota 4Runner. Body on frame, independent suspension, coil springs in the front. Most likely a 5-speed manual. You can see saggy rear suspension, which is not uncommon. It's just, you know, filled with stuff. I mean, it's someone's driver. Look at this. Here we go. Man, the number of Chevy trucks around here is just ridiculous. Just old American trucks. It just never ends. I mean, look at this thing. Yet another one. There's an old Chevy S10 pickup, an old Toyota pickup. I didn't realize they made these with the step side beds. Damn, let's keep rolling. Here in the San Fernando Valley, there's just a ton of old trucks, man. It's just so many old trucks. I think part of that is because, you know, this is definitely a, you know, there are plenty of like tradespeople in this part of LA. People who own, say, you know, detailing businesses, plumbing businesses, roofing, flooring businesses. There's plenty of that here in San Fernando Valley, so you see a lot of trucks and vans, but they're keeping them for a long time. Let me see if I can get over to the other side of the 405. Hey, we're just going around looking for cool cars. That's it.
Right here, bro.
What do we got here, huh?
Got a 2025.
Camera? Brand new. That looks like a 25. Clean.
You already know.
That's what's up. See you later.
Thanks, boys.
Man, look at that camera. That's probably an 03, 04. Just the perfect amount of missing clear coat on the hood. These gentlemen ride in style. 2025. That's a 20-year-old car that they're driving, and they make it, you know, that's not a big deal. A well-engineered car here. Look, there's another Camry there on the corner, probably like a 97, 98. This is the land that Rust forgot. This is, Father Time has been defeated by the Toyota Camry, by pretty much every 350-powered Chevy truck, and Tahoe, and Tacoma, and Suburban. And of course, yes, Tacomas and all the Toyota trucks, they've defeated Father Time. That perfect example, look at that. Just filling up in the gas station, look at that old Chevy truck, just doing work. It might have been the one we saw earlier, I don't know. Look how clean that is though. Even the paint looks good, the bodies. There's another old 30-year-old Camry, 25-year-old Camry. Californians watching this are gonna be somewhat confused. Why are you pointing out 1997 Toyota Camrys and 1995 Suburbans? I think a lot of Californians take for granted the car culture they have. This is not the norm around the country. There are some amazing cars here, and they're old and they just keep ticking. You can just look out the window when you're driving every day and you just find some cool vintage machine, and you haven't seen nothing yet. I believe as soon as we get on the other side of this 405, there's a neighborhood over here that's gonna have some gold. 30 minutes, we got a half an hour on the west side of the 405 to strike gold. Scanning, another old Toyota truck, of course. Old Dodge Dakota, you know, that's a 25-year-old car now, pushing 25 years old. Yet another GMT 400, unkillable, Chevy V8 under the hood. These are everywhere. I'm gonna stop pointing them out. That's a Suburban. I'm gonna stop pointing them out because they're everywhere. They don't ever die. There's no need to ever junk them. A regular thing here in LA is campers. They're all over the place. That is a byproduct of the housing crisis here, but you'll see a lot of vintage, extremely old campers, and typically you can pick those up for truly pennies on the dollar. Sometimes they're free, people just need them out of their property, and you'll see them parked, and people unfortunately sometimes have to spend way too much time in them as a result of the housing shitstorm here in Los Angeles.
This is my first car.
What was? Oh, the XB?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's a great first car.
It was an incredible first car.
Look at that. We got another second gen. Actually, we got a couple of great cars here. Really is in California's going to care about, but as a former Michigander, that's a vintage second gen. That's a second gen Ram, like I mentioned before. That's a 30-year-old truck, 25 to 30-year-old truck. That's an old Saturn Ion, I think, which is maybe a 15-year-old car. Maybe that one's only 20 years old. Who knows? Oh, here we go. Got an old Cadillac up here. Is that what we're seeing? No, that is not even almost a Cadillac. This is a Ford Torino. Look at this thing, and a Dodge Charger, a Magnum, which is a now 20-year-old car at this point. And look at these two machines. They're just sitting on the side of the street. Let's get out for these two. Let's have a look at some of these cars that are just on the side of the street here. Car culture in Michigan, these two cars would probably be in a garage somewhere. Well, they probably would be gone by now. I mean, these cars, after a couple of decades at most, they turn into sand in Michigan. Or they're garage kept, and they're very rarely parked on the street. But here, there's not a lot of space, and there's no rust, so everything's street parked. You get to see some amazing machines. Looks like we have a bench seat on this one. Automatic transmission, 3-speed on the column, probably a C4 transmission if I had to guess. Yeah, just a cool machine. This one is a Charger. I love the what do you call this? White lettering on the tires. Classic. Also an automatic. This one looks good actually. The inside. What is this? Look what happens when the vinyl top chips away. It's thick. Look at how thick. Actually, is that Bondo? That's Bondo, I think. Huh. So I think this might have been a vinyl top car at some point. Would you like to look, see if we can find any rust on this thing? I mean, there's some surface rust up here. These things are clean. Let's keep rolling. Actually, let's just look here at this intersection, see if we can find anything. Fox body Mustang over there. Not a huge deal, but 25-year-old car. An old Land Cruiser there, probably a 20-year-old car, maybe 25. Let's keep driving. It's gonna be rough trying to turn this into something exciting. I mean, we're running out of time. Where's the vintage gold?
20 minutes.
Okay, we got a nice Land Cruiser here. So look at this. Here's one parked, if you ask me, a little close to the intersection. But hey, live your life. I'm not gonna tell on you. But behold, look at this. An old Land Cruiser. Now this is the 70 series. And the reason why it's so dope is that it's not the last one, but it's the second to last one with a solid front axle, which is superior in my opinion. Let's check it out. There's actually rust on this. Like a decent amount actually. Look at the doors here. This, I would say, if the owner is watching this, first thing you need to do as soon as you can is you need to get a grinder and you need to grind off this surface rust before it gets too deep. This is not a big deal yet. I mean, this is getting there. Like that's getting there quick, and so is this. Ignoring it is not the answer. You gotta grind that. Hit it with a sanding disc and sand it down and then work from there, because this will turn into a hole and then you gotta weld, which is not fun. But otherwise, this is fantastic. It's an incredible machine. More rust around here. I mean, the frame looks clean, but these wheel wells and these corners, they need to be addressed as soon as possible. Stick shift, this thing is incredible. The 70 series is, in many people's eyes, the most legendary of Land Cruisers. They're still being made to this day. Not in the US, but they were used as mining vehicles. They're running all over Africa and Australia. I recently went to Australia and I told them, yo, aren't Jeeps great? You can go off-roading and they last forever. And they said, never say the word Jeep again. And the reason is that right there. Vintage, ooh, what have we got here? We got an old Mustang. Looks like maybe, let's see if I can get a glimpse of that grill. I think that's a 65, 66. And behind it looks like a Ford Ranchero. Looks like a Ranchero. You can see it's got like a pickup truck in the back. Here's an old Defender 110. But that one's kind of been modernized. Chevy truck, see the white one right there? Oh, folks, we're finding gold now. These are not ironic trucks. This is not this Enthusiast, it is a truck that's being used. In fact, that looks like it was once a municipal truck. Oh, the person behind me is not thrilled. And look at this one. Ooh, someone's doing an axle, a solid axle swap. Oh my goodness, what is happening here? Wow, this person, oh my goodness. This person's incredible. Who are you? Be my friend. So we have two trucks. We have a pickup up front, and then the back looks like a Blazer on jack stands, precariously, floor jack. You can see the transmission back there. I mean, I'm not trying to creep, but like this person freaking rules. That's a kingpin axle there in the front of the Chevy. Nice and beefy. Man, the number of Chevy fans here is just shocking. So many vintage Chevrolets, and of course, I'm welcome. We just didn't get shot there because I'm in a GMT 400 Chevy right now. This means I'm welcome everywhere around this area. All right, I saw a couple other machines behind us, so let's whip a U-turn. Watch how bad this turning radius is on this truck. It's so bad. All right, well, I got it done.
14 minutes.
We got 14 minutes left, folks. Oh, that's a four-wheel drive truck. I think that white one, I think, might have been a military truck. Might have been a diesel. Ooh, do we have a Nissan over here? Oh, no, a Datsun. I think we might have a Datsun truck here on the left. Look at this. Not trying to creep, but look at that old Nissan truck. Woohoo, it looks clean. The cars here are phenomenal. Look at that third-gen 4Runner. That itself, by the way, is 20 years old at this point. Probably more than 20 years, actually.
Is that double Mercedes?
More like 30. Double Mercs. Oh, we got a 240D, D denoting diesel. And in fact, this one I would guess is probably a stick shift. I think they might have all been stick shifts, the diesel 240s. The 300D ahead of it is definitely an automatic because they didn't come with stick shifts. Can you see, Griffin, if there's a stick or if it's an automatic shifter?
I think it's automatic from what I'm seeing.
Oh, the 240. Okay, they're both automatic, but look at that. Both very clean, just on the side of the road here. You got someone doing a tire change here in front of their house. Look at this. This is a brick nose Ford. The brick nose is the first year that had that kind of plastic. Oh, okay, someone's gonna pass us. All good. You can go. The plastic headlights. These are great trucks. They came with either the 300 inline 6 or I think the 302 V8. And they had this weird suspension system called twin traction beam, which led to all sorts of alignment issues. But they're incredible trucks, and that one's about 1990. So that's a 35-year-old truck. Here we have another Toyota truck, long bed. Look at how tiny that truck is with the long bed. That's awesome. Wow, I think this might be the coveted Mercedes SDL, possibly, if it's a diesel. Given that there were two diesels there, I'm thinking this might be the same owner. This is a long wheelbase, you can see, so it's definitely the L. It's a long wheelbase S-Class. Now it's either gonna be an SEL, I think is what the gas one was called, or the SDL, which I see as one of the holy grails of Mercedes-Benz's all time. Let's see, is it a diesel? Is it the coveted SD? Oh, it's an SEL. So that's a gasoline, but it's a long wheelbase. That's such a baller car. That's like something like a head of state would drive. And by drive, I mean be driven in. We're finding gold here in Los Angeles, absolute gold.
What's that at 12 o'clock?
Oh, we got another Chevy truck, another Chevy truck, three Chevy trucks, one under an orange tree, which by the way, could be a beautiful photo. In fact, maybe I'm gonna make that the thumbnail for this. Maybe, I don't know if that would work, because what does that have to do with car spotting? Screw it. Griffin, you think you can get a great shot there of that Chevy underneath an orange tree?
Yeah, I can get that.
Let's see what we can do. We're gonna show that here in the video. Do your best, Griffin. Orange tree, Chevy truck.
Come on, stop. You know, it's something.
Careful with that barbed wire.
Yeah.
I'm the barbed wire king.
You're the king of running it over.
That's right.
That's barbed wire.
Jesus, did we hit it?
Yo, 100%.
Man, this is crazy, the number of Chevy trucks here. We've got probably 10 minutes at this point.
9.
9 minutes? Jiminy Cricket. I really think the San Fernando Valley might be the world capital of vintage Chevrolet trucks. I mean, what other place is going to even come close? By the way, here in Southern California, this is where the mini truck trend really took off. That was a huge thing in the 80s and 90s. There were dancing truck beds. It was a huge fad. Also worth mentioning, since we're talking about California car culture, hydrogen cars. You will not find those pretty much anywhere else in the United States. Occasionally, you'll see one stranded in Ohio, but there are no fuel stations. Is that a 240SX drift car?
Torch is gonna be mad, but there was a VW bug back there.
There was a bug. The Beetles are so common, it's like your brain just has basically been conditioned not to even think about them. You know what else is so common? Like the 1997-ish Toyota Camry, this one right here. It's just the generic car here. You don't even notice them. You have to like stop for a second just to even think about them. By the way, those could be had with a 5-speed manual as well. What do we have here? A Toyota Corolla wagon. Think this thing has a manual?
No, that's gotta be auto.
Auto.
Yeah.
All right, nothing wrong with that, but I do love a manual wagon. All right, time is getting tight. Where are we at, Griffin?
6 minutes.
Tick tock. Oh, lemon tree. Another Chevy truck. How is this possible? It's got to be at least like 15, right?
It's got to be something like that, and there's another on the left.
Look at this. How? They just keep coming. Oh, that's a dually. 3,500. How can they just, how? I don't understand. Ooh. Oh, this is a Ford. Nice Ford truck behind a 3rd gen 4Runner. That thing is clean. You think that Ridgeline is ever going to be as iconic as these old Chevy and Ford trucks we've been seeing?
Oh, absolutely not. Love for their era, though, probably.
Oh, yeah. The 90s Lincoln Navigator over there, but it's just so common nowadays to see 90s cars. Beautiful sunset. Man, there's nothing like a California sunset. It's an entirely different sun out here, actually. It's not the same sun that the rest of the country has. You know, I've never actually thought about doing any sort of analysis of the car culture in the San Fernando Valley. And this video isn't going to capture it entirely, but here's the short version. The San Fernando Valley is filled with the most ridiculous, hot rod car culture you'll ever see. We didn't cover that here because we didn't look at the shops. The number of car shops here is just crazy. I mean, the repair shops, all of the ancillary shops, stuff like locksmiths and windshield repair and detailing and, tires and all of that stuff. It's all here. This is the concentration of it here is just incredible. There are people building amazing custom machines here, at Galpin and elsewhere. And then, there's look at this old Chrysler K car. Looks like a LeBaron. Oh, is that a LeBaron with a Landau top? New Yorker, actually. It's a Chrysler New Yorker K car from the 80s. Absolute steaming heat, but I kind of like them. Anyway, San Fernando Valley, great diversity of cars, an enormous number of Chevrolet pickup trucks. Ooh, yes, we've got a Jeep Cherokee XJ over here. Look at this thing. 4-door XJ, looks like a 2-wheel drive model. I can tell, oh, actually, I'm wrong. It's a 4-wheel drive. They got the front steering skid plate blocking the diff. Clean, look at how clean this is. These have gotten really valuable. Oh, if this is a stick, I might, this is probably not the place to stop. Just a quick peek. Oh, okay, this is very strange. It is a 2-wheel drive, but there's a skid plate in the front. That's so bizarre. We are running out of time. Where are we at, Griffin?
30 seconds.
30 seconds? Okay, who's gonna be the last interesting car? Who's it gonna be? All right, let's get the transmission together, DT. Look at that. And this is a part of California car culture that we haven't even touched on. That is a Mitsubishi Eclipse. Japanese car culture here is just amazing. Mitsubishi Eclipses like that. I mean, that thing looks clean. That's a 30-year-old car. It looks clean as a whistle. Maybe it's a 25-year-old car. Clean. So let's bring it home then. Let me just bring it home. That's it. Car culture 1 hour. San Fernando Valley. For those of you who are not from Los Angeles, that's basically north. There are hydrogen cars. There are electric cars like this amazing looking i3. There are a ridiculous number of Japanese small trucks, Nissans, Mitsubishis, Toyotas. The American pickup trucks, can't believe how many there are. Absolutely ridiculous. Just absurd. Rolling back, that's been car spotting, Autopian car spot, whatever we're gonna call this. That's what this was.
Literal seconds after we cut the camera.
How is this possible? How can there be this many Chevrolet trucks and vans here in the San Fernando Valley? What exactly is the history? Because it's just not natural. Ooh, look at that old Datsun. Yikes, that's beautiful. 240Z. That has really become a valuable machine in the last like 30 years. Really. Wow. Anyway, I'm a little just baffled here. Chevy trucks, incredible. That Chevy S10 pickup is probably from like 01 or 02, so it's old. But again, a Chevy truck, yet another one. Look, I'm trying to stop this video, but the Chevy trucks keep popping up. Look at this one doing hard work with a camper on it. And there was another one that we passed that we gotta stop the video now because otherwise we're gonna see Chevy trucks all the way back. So, video over.
The video was anything but over.
How can there be this many? It just doesn't stop. I think I saw I want to show you what I'm seeing. You see the dark red right there to the right of the Prius? There's like a little dark red something.
Oh, it's hidden.
It's pretty much hidden, but
yeah.
I think maybe. It's very, very hard to see. I might be wrong on this, but no, actually, that's not it. Whoa. Whoa, this is even more interesting. This looks like it's an old Buick or Pontiac. Look at the disc brakes. This is a Resto mod. This is freaking dope. That's a Chevrolet.
Yeah,
Chevrolet
Chevy.
Deluxe. There's a Chevy truck there. There we go, of course. GMT 400 can't go anywhere without a Chevy truck popping up. Right next to a Oldsmobile Cutlass. My goodness. This is a GM. Like, I can't believe how much GM there is here. Unreal. All right, but now the video's over. 1 hour in the San Fernando Valley, driving around in this Chevy truck. Little did I realize that this is the world capital of Chevy trucks. It just is. I understand there'll be parts of the middle of America, Oklahoma, Texas, maybe even, you know, Michigan and Kansas saying, look, we got plenty of Chevy trucks here. But the volume of clean, rust-free, old Chevy trucks here in the San Fernando Valley, I only went like a couple mile radius here, and they're just everywhere. I think it's got to be unmatched globally. I really think right here, this is the capital of vintage Chevy trucks, and I'm proud to be a part of, well, I'm proud to own such an incredible machine. It'll last me forever. Kind of blew the end there, but whatever.